Good evening, and I hope everybody's doing well today. No doubt a lot of Evertonians right now are constantly refreshing their news feeds, especially on Twitter, and trying to track the whereabouts of the likes of Allan and particularly James Rodriguez. So much going on. Believe that announcements are probably imminent if reports are true that Everton have agreed deals with Napoli for Allan. They've agreed deal with Real Madrid for Rodriguez, and apparently the latest one being that we've agreed a deal and personal terms with Watford for Doucoure. So I tell you what, if we can get those three over the line in the coming days, that is massive for the club. Firstly, Doucoure and Allan, I think in terms of our midfield, it's been so sorely lacking for so long, and there's been no real heart. There's been no real players in there that are going to get stuck in and get the tackles in all the time. I think Allan, from what I've seen of his play, he's somebody that very much loves the tackle, will cover a lot of ground. The box-to-box midfielder that we've been absolutely crying out for, and obviously somebody who's played under Carlo Ancelotti previously at Napoli as well. So those two will be reuniting, and I just think that relationship, he's obviously a player that Carlo has identified and trusts, and he's, as I said, identified Allan as one of the key people that's going to come into that midfield and really start to make his stamp on the team. It'll feel like these three transfers are very much Ancelotti's signings, and especially with Allan and Rodriguez as well. Rodriguez, of course, this will be the third time that these two reunite and work together. Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, they did very well there together. I think especially that's that one season at Real Madrid where he scored an insane amount of goals and insane amount of assists. And if anybody can draw that out of James Rodriguez again, then you'd believe it to be Carlo Ancelotti. I think that the two of them have a very tight bond and a good relationship. And yeah, as I say, too often in the past, I think we've seen when it's not been going well for managers, it's too easy for the team to kind of go under the radar a lot of the time, and the manager takes the hit ultimately. But I think when you've got a manager of Ancelotti's calibre, nobody's going to do that, and especially now you're bringing in, all being well, players like Rodriguez and Allan that have played for him before and no doubt would run through walls for this man. This is the reason we have been able to attract players like this, players that would be playing Champions League football. We finished 12th, and the fact that we've been able to still get them to come to Goodison, I think it's safe to say is largely down to Carlo Ancelotti and the project and the plans that Everton have. It shows massive ambition, and it's also a huge thing for players like Richarlison, the real star of the team at the moment, and has sort of spoken a little bit about, the potential to move on in the future, that there's been a lot of big clubs sniffing around him that have come in for him. That's always going to be the case when you've got a player of that talent and performing the way he is. But bringing in players like this, it's, it must feel great for him to be thinking, in Rodriguez, that's somebody that can probably provide him a bagload of assists for the season, and just raises the profile of the club. We're talking about someone in James who has near enough 20 million followers, and and in the term of the brand of Everton, and we're wanting to grow, it just kind of it's a real statement signing. I know we've spent big on players in the past, and that's been a large part of our problems, is that we've spent a lot of money on names that have probably been bigger to what we've been used to, but sadly we got it all wrong, and we're still suffering the aftermath of that. It's just being, we're still working through that now. But Allan, Rodriguez, that especially Rodriguez, the name, everything, it's just a massive signing. And when you've got him in your team and Ancelotti as manager, I think it's impossible for Evertonians to not get excited about that. I'm certainly really, really giddy about it. I don't think there's going to be an announcement tonight. The fact it's already, when I'm recording this, it's near enough 9 o'clock. It will be later, probably when this goes out. So unless anything changes at this point, I don't think we're going to see an announcement until tomorrow. Allan's believed and understood to have had his medical today. So that maybe will be announced tomorrow. I think Rodriguez, it's expected that that will be announced in the next 48 hours or so. And as I said, Doucoure, the latest is that the two clubs have come to an agreement. I think it was around £20 million. I think it was around £22 million for Allan, and I can't quite remember the price tag of Rodriguez, and I don't want to give any misquotes or anything like that. But yeah, I know it was a window where we said Everton mightn't spend, but I said all along, look, if the club have brought in Carlo Ancelotti, you're not bringing in a manager like that and not giving them what they want. And I think, particularly after lockdown with Project Restart, when we came back, it just really cemented what we all knew, and I think where we're sorely lacking and have urgently needed to improve the midfield was the main one, and you know, these three players will vastly improve that. We've got talent in the squad in the likes of Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, Anthony Gordon, who, as we said last night, just penned a 5-year deal. Mason Holgate. You know, there's exciting young talent in there, but I think for now we just need to bring in players that are established, that have won pretty much everything, played in the biggest competitions, played in the biggest leagues, played along the best players, and that's what we'll be getting. And then also with Doucoure, he's always been an absolute handful. He's someone we've been linked with, it seems like, forever, and it looks like that one's finally going to get over the line. And with him, of course, you've got that already plenty of Premier League experience with him as well. So I think the three would be amazing assets to the squad. As I said, no doubt Rodriguez is the real star-studded name that I think will kind of really set everything rolling for us and get a bit of belief back and excitement amongst the supporters, which is what we need. I know it's rubbish knowing that we can't be going to the game to watch them in the flesh, and football is a very different thing right now, as is the world, but it's nice to be hearing these names like this and be able to get excited that at some point, fingers crossed, we'll all be back inside Goodison Park watching the likes of those players we've just discussed. So yeah, very, very exciting times for Everton Football Club. Very much looking forward to the coming days, and fingers crossed there will be announcements on that. That's the main thing that I think we're all just waiting on now. And I did see today something about English Heritage apparently had come back again with the amendments that Everton made to the proposed Bramley-Moore designs. Apparently they've come back again and said that they're still not satisfied with it, so now it's being passed over to somebody else who's got to make a decision regarding it. So very frustrating that, to be honest with you. I think Everton have done everything possible to try and make sure that everything's done as best as possible to preserve the site. And you know, it's a good thing, all the money it's going to generate, all the thousands of jobs, so yeah, and all the people that are backing it. So let's hope this is just something that can be sorted out quite quickly, and that we'll see work on the ground start in early 2021, which, like we said, it really isn't that far away now. But yeah, I'll have more news, no doubt. There'll be a few videos this week because I think there's going to be a lot going on by the looks of things. So yeah, stay tuned, and fingers crossed we'll have an announcement on some new incomings very soon. Oh, and also on incomings, Everton Women also announced their 7th signing of the summer in Damaris. And I must apologise because it's Egurrola, but if I've pronounced that wrong, I'm desperately sorry. I'll have to, when I do get the chance and opportunity to meet her, get lessons on how to pronounce the names and pronounce all the new girls' names, because as I said, I think there's something like 10, 11 different nationalities we've got now at Everton Women, so it's boss that I love it. But yeah, I'll have to get the education on how to pronounce all the names properly. But she is a Spanish midfielder, was previously with Atletico Bilbao. Speaking to the manager on the weekend, I know she's a player that he's really excited about, and will be no doubt another excellent addition to what is a wonderful squad of players. And Everton Women's season starts this Sunday, 2:00 against Bristol. can't wait for that one, really looking forward to it. And before then, of course, Everton are playing at Goodison Park, a friendly against Preston North End this Saturday. Will there be a couple of new faces with the squad by then? Let's hope so. But as I say, stay tuned. No doubt there'll be plenty coming in the following days. So yeah, look after yourselves and speak to you guys soon.